Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be providing you with information on what yin is, how to cultivate it, and why I am constantly using it every single day as a reference point for my life and what I do with my day. Hi, my name is Mallory. I'm a physician of classical Chinese medicine, and let's go ahead and jump right in. You may be familiar with the terminology yin and yang. These terms are a macro view of representations to what our world is and everything that it is made up of. So in simple forms, yin is non-activity, rest, and yang is activity. We can also think of yang as up and yin as down. Yang is sunlight and daylight, and yin is going to be nighttime and afternoon, late afternoon hours. Yin is going to be water. Yang is going to be the sun. Yin is going to be the moisture within your body, and yang is going to be the heat that your body produces. Yin and yang are simply symbolisms of everything that is around us. And in my day-to-day, I constantly am looking at the balance and the movement and lack of movement between yin and yang throughout my day. So I'll give you some examples at the end of this video. Everything that you can think of can be represented by that macro view of yin and yang. I'll put some examples up on the screen right now to help you further understand these concepts. When we think about yin and yang medically, they are the foundation for Chinese medicine. So we use them when choosing acupuncture points, when looking at herbs and building an herbal formula, and we also use them to distinguish signs and symptoms that a patient is experiencing and then help guide us to how we want to best treat that particular patient. When we look at yin and yang relative to being human, we want to look at it based on the physical body, the mental, emotional body, and the deeper self, sometimes known as the spiritual body or the yuan level in classical Chinese medicine. When we look at the physical self, we want to consider how we move through the world. So are you someone who wakes up right away in the flash and is out the door in half a second? Or are you someone who wakes up slowly, has some tea, maybe stretches, and slowly gets ready for their day? So the person who wakes up in a flash is going to be more yang. The person who wakes up in a slow pace is going to be more representative of yin. And then we also want to think about, do you do more yang exercises? Are you someone who is constantly running and doing a lot of strength training and working out multiple times a day and really hard? Or are you someone who likes slower paced activity like yoga, Pilates, and gentle strength training and slow walks? So the faster paced activity and exercise is going to be more yang, and then the slower pace is going to be more yin. We can look at the mental, emotional body as someone who is always worrying and constantly spinning and churning ideas and thinking all the time. That's going to be more yang, as opposed to someone who has a reflective practice, someone who isn't thinking all the time, someone who just kind of goes with the flow. That's going to be more yin. So we can also look at the emotions in excess, which is going to be yang, or in less than, which is going to be yin. So if you're constantly worrying, that is going to be, that consistency of that emotion is going to be more yang. It's going to be very taxing on the system. Whereas someone who worries but finds a way to work with their worry is going to be more yin. When we think about nurturing the yin of our deeper levels of our spiritual body, we think about things like meditation, reflection, even planning, and making sure that you have really good connections with those people around you, that they fill you up and love you and offer a very low level of stress in your daily life. We can also look at foods in ways to help us to cultivate yin, looking more at those watery vegetables, right? Because water is more yin to the sunlight, which is yang. Sprouts are amazing, squashes, some fruits and vegetables, as well as sea animals and sea vegetables. Why? Because fish and sea vegetables live in water in the deep, dark ocean, and all that is representative of yin. I do have a blog post about the salty flavor, so you might want to check that one out for more information on foods that tend to be yin in characteristic. Some other characteristics of yin, which we would consider yin deficiency, is going to be dry skin, dry cough, dry eyes, excessive heat in the system, and even creaky joints. So yin is what keeps our joints healthy and fluid from going crack, 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 or from feeling like they're going to snap and break. We need that yin, we need that water to add the buoyancy to our joints and our muscles and our ligaments. Yin is slow. It is slow to replenish. So if you are someone who is thinking, yes, I could use more yin in my life, whether it's slowing down my pace, incorporating herbs and food, or maybe acupuncture or just general yin activities, I want you to keep in mind, because yin is slow, it is slow to cultivate. So it's something that isn't going to just happen overnight or happen within a week, depending on how yang your activities are or how yang you are and your symptoms are. So make sure that you pay attention to the consistency, and the yin will come as you build it. And the consistency is going to lead to the duration of time. So just stick with it, because yin builds over time. For me in particular, just to give you an example, I am someone who wakes up, I take a really slow morning, I tend to stretch or reflect or clean up from the day before. And then I need to pick up the pace. So I do become more yang in activity because I have places to go and I need to get out the door at a certain time. But I wake up to leave time for yin before I transition into yang. Then when I am driving or walking, transitioning from my yang to my next place, which is typically yang, my office, my clinic, I have this window of time where I can be in yin again. So if I'm walking or I'm driving, I'm making sure that I am completely aware, that I am at peace. Maybe I don't listen to any music or have the radio going or make phone calls. I use that transitional time to pull myself back into yin before I go into yang, before I go into meetings or seeing patients or just moving more vigorously throughout my day. Then within my day, I always give myself another window of yin before I transition into more yang. So after doing yang activities, I need to give myself space where I can consolidate, which is yin, and replenish myself, which is yin, offer some rejuvenation. And typically this is around lunchtime with some food, some water, and in a very quiet space where I'm not going to be bothered or asked for my attention. I can bring everything back to myself. And then at that point, I'm ready to transition into more yang, seeing patients, having meetings, conversations, spending time with friends. And then when that's all over, I'm ready to transition transition into yin again, whether that is a walk home or a drive home, before maybe getting back into yang, like preparing dinner and communicating with people in my home or friends or being with friends. So you see, you can bring yin and yang and kind of this flow of them throughout your entire day. And what this does is it keeps your stress level low, it keeps you present in your day, and it allows you to have these opportunities in your day where you are flowing from yin and yang, rather than just going all yang, burning out, falling asleep, or not being able to sleep, and then waking up and repeating all of it again. This is one reason why I tend to stay away from stimulants like chocolate and coffee, because I don't want any more yang in my system revving me up when I want to be the one in control of my day and how I move through my day physically, mentally, emotionally, and at that deep level relative to the yuan level. I hope that this information serves you, but most importantly, I hope that it gives you a jump start to apply this to your day-to-day and to maybe take 10 minutes and sit down and say, how do I start my day? How do I want to change how I move through my day? What points during my day can I cultivate more yin? Or what points during my day do I know I need to be on and create more yang and be up and ready for myself and those people around me? It really is very simple, but it takes some conscious awareness to allow yourself to get into this flow between yin and yang. Yin lives within yang and yang lives within yin. So we are always working with and between one or the other. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions, or if you're going to be applying this to your day-to-day and how you're going to be applying it and what you're looking forward to doing. Thank you for being here. Stay curious. Make sure you check out my website for more blog posts on the 5 flavors, and I will be here next week.